Dear students, in Internet access services, there are some connections known as wireless Internet connections. This comes immediately after cable TV Internet connections, and this is also called wireless broadband services. Broadband services are very often identified as wired as well as wireless broadband services. Okay, and in internet services we have broadband services meant for home purpose, and also there is a specific service known as lease line connections, which are actually direct connections intended for business or educational purposes. Now wireless internet connections are actually uh, internet connections, which is a new type of internet connection, and this makes use of radio frequency bands, and it is said to be an always on connection. That means we need not connect to it as if we have a dial up modem connection service. Okay, in order to connect to dial up internet connection services, we have to dial in with the mobile phone number and get connected to it. So it's always getting connected. So it can be accessed from anywhere within a network coverage area, and this is said to be more expensive and made available mostly in metropolitan areas. Okay, so there are some connections known as wireless internet connections. Now there are some advanced services known as T1 lines. Okay, these are popularly known lease line option for business purposes. So lease line connections are different from broadband connections. So in lease line connections, we have dedicated internet connectivity channels meant for particular uses. Say for businesses like, for example, share trading purposes, which actually requires exact acute information. Minute level information is required for the transaction of share trades, or especially scientific experiments, especially when there are experiments conducted over internet. Okay, so such connections, especially in some scientific experiments, require lease line connections. So this makes use of dedicated phone connection supporting data rates from 1.544 Mbps. It consists of 24 individual channels. Each supports 64 kilobits per second. Okay. So telephone companies allow to buy one or some of these channels, and they are actually told fractional T1 access. Okay, so T1 lines are actually made use of by people, especially for business purposes. The next type is said to be T3 lines, which supports data rates of about 43 to 45 Mbps, and this is a popular internet connectivity service. It consists of channels 672, each with a speed of 64 kbps, and it is used mainly by ISPs, internet service providers, connecting to internet backbone. Okay, so T1 services, T3 line services are actually advanced advanced modes of internet connectivity services. The next level is actually reference to OC3 internet connectivity services. OC3 refers to optical carrier, and level 3, it specifies the speed of fiber optic networks conforming to the SONET standard. Okay, and it is used as a fiber optic backbone for large networks, with large voice, data, video and traffic needs. So this is again making use of optical cables for the transmission of data over networks. Its speed is too high, 155.52 Mbps, roughly the speed of 100 T1 lines. Okay, so in a normal broadband connectivity service, especially enabled in our homes for home use, we may perhaps have 8 Mbps to 10 Mbps connections. These are normal connections provided by internet service providers, ISPs. Here you can see the speed of OC3 connections are actually 155 to 52 Mbps. So you can just imagine the speed that we could have with OC3 connections. And these connections may not be perhaps affordable for home use uses, because there is more costs as well as internet gadgets are required to assist these internet connection services. Okay. The last one in this series is actually satellite internet. Internet over satellite, shortly known as IOS. Satellite connections are actually used. It allows access to internet via a satellite that orbits the earth. Okay, so internet services are also enabled through satellite connections. Satellite is placed at a static point above the earth's surface in a fixed position. And internet over satellite is slightly slower than high-speed terrestrial connections over copper or fiber optic cables due to the long distance, and its speed range is an average of 492 up to 512 kbps. Okay, satellite connections are also made use of by people, but it's costly. And today we have optical fiber connectivity services enabled by various ISPs, internet service providers, like Reliance Jio. Reliance Jio is a popular ISP, internet service provider, and along with them there are many others. Idea Networks, Idea Vodafone has been combined to a new brand called VI, and similar services are there for giving internet access to the popular traditions, the people all around the world. Now, these are different types of internet connections. Thank you very much for your kind listening.